All right, welcome everyone to another edition of Deconversion Stories. And today with me, I have a fellow that I was recently on a podcast with George Stiles and Infidel, and we were talking about deconversion stuff, which was a pretty cool podcast. If you missed that one, I think it's somewhere. I have it posted somewhere, so look for that. It's a good one though. But anyways, welcome to the show. There, the badass kicking new atheist.
Neil, I appreciate you having me. Mike, good to meet you.
We'll have to call you BAKNA.
No. Much easier is BA. It's pretty much bad atheist, badass, whatever you want to throw in there. It's much simpler.
BA, like from the A-Team.
Yep, exactly. I can't remember who started calling me that, but it's kind of stuck. It's a lot easier to the whole
ain't going on no airplane.
Right. I think the remake they did of that was pretty decent.
Yeah, it was all right. Not as good as the original show, if you ask me. But
no,
I never saw it.
You never saw either one, or
no
clue what we're talking about.
I know of the A-Team, but Mr.
Mikey's
T,
on the B team.
Yeah, I was on the B squad. It was on PBS. They didn't have a lot of funding. It was it wasn't as good of a show.
Well, I dug it, but then again, I was at the age where it was a lot of fun. Anyways, back then,
You were targeted.
Mr. T was great. Yeah.
Shit, we used to gather in the I guess like a lounge area when I lived in Israel, and we used to watch it on Friday nights.
I
aired over there.
I was able to enjoy the show, and I liked it. But I'll tell you, we're telling stories growing up. I got on the bus here for first grade and made friends with a kid on the bus. Suspenders wearing, science teaching dad. And me and him hit it off. Well, he was the nerd of the class, and I had to protect him. And a bunch of the other kids were they deemed themselves the A-Team. So they all got their own little characters, and they like to pick on him and me. So I had to take most of the lumps for us.
Oh, jeez. Well, I got picked on a lot as a kid too, if you can believe that.
It happens, man. People are fun when we're little, right?
Oh yeah, fun. Yeah, that's one way to put it, I guess. But anyways, welcome to the show, man. And you know what I do here? I talk with folks about their journeys away from whatever belief systems they were once a part of, and kind of how they found their way free of it, and what ultimately ended up leading them into becoming some form of an activist for atheism or anti-religion or whatever you want to call it. So kind of just say, hey, take us on that journey, and we might pop in there with a stupid question or two here and there. So
sure. No, I appreciate you giving me a forum to do this, other than what I normally do on Twitter. So my history, I'm in the Midwest, grew up Protestant Christian, was baptized twice. I think it happened when I was about 6 or 7. And when I was 12, I was like, I was too young. I didn't even understand what I was doing. So let's do this again, make it stick, right? Make sure I washed all that nasty sin off, right?
Yeah, that's sin. Yeah, I tell you.
Yeah. And so, but around 12 was also the time where I was starting to really understand things around me better. I wasn't so focused on myself, and while I was being taken to church, I was also being taken to the library, and I really dug into some books. So, I enjoyed reading a lot about Roman and Greek mythology. Got into the vampires, the werewolf section, a lot of the horror. Then, dove into Stephen King and fell in love with that. I remember being in 6th grade, and I was sitting there reading the biggest book of any of us sitting there. It was just reading time. And I had the biggest one. And the principal, who was also a local preacher, comes over and he asks, "What are you reading?" I said, "Christine." He goes, "You should be reading the Bible."
Oh, really?
Okay. And I just went back to reading my book. So,
Right.
I've been fighting against it, I guess, most of my life, even when I was young. It was, there was a period of time when I was in my 20s where I had a newborn son, and my ex-in-laws, they were getting heavy into the religion, and so they wanted to take him, and so I wasn't going to say no, but we wasn't really gung-ho into it, right? So, but I thought about getting back into it. Maybe I just haven't put enough effort into it, right?
The old college try.
Right. I mean, maybe I need to work harder on this whole thing. And I started, going and listening a little bit more. And then I started figuring out that, okay, so if I love somebody and they don't believe that this dude came back from the dead and that he saved us because he did that, then they go to hell.
Forever.
Yeah. And I go to heaven. So they're going to be there and I'm going to be up here. But that doesn't sound like heaven to me, does it? I mean, I love them. No. I don't want them tortured forever.
Right.
Yeah. And so it was
the thing about that, though, is if you don't know, like, that they're in hell, then that's taking away your free will, so to speak.
Well, true. And to me, I was like, oh, that's just a bullshit answer. I know who they are. I love them. You're not going to take that away from me, right? And so that's my pushback on my free will. And the boundaries that it kind of takes from you. One of the funny stories I tell is when my son was probably about 10 years old, I'd been coaching, different sports, and he comes home one day with a poster board, just a little poster board, and it says, "My parents are atheists." Dude, whoa. Dude, that is true, and it is correct. But we got to be real careful about telling people around here that, because this is very much red, Republican, Trump-loving, Jesus-loving, gun-loving country. And so, the fact that I was coaching kids and he's got a poster board coming home that I'm an atheist, it was like, whoa. I'm not going to say that you can't tell the truth, but we need to be careful about how we advertise this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And there are serious repercussions. And like I said, he was about 10 when that happened. So, hopefully I didn't scar him too much, but he doesn't believe in the silly stuff now, and he's 30. So I think I did all right in that area. So yeah, it's been in and out. I wasn't a preacher. I wasn't any of that. A big part of what helped me fight what I call the language virus that is religion was studying in college, psychology, and also communication. So, when I look at it now, my label on Twitter and the one I'm using here was kind of given to me by theist jerks. I'll try and keep it fairly clean. If I don't know, bleep out the vulgarity. I don't want to get you in trouble here, guys. So
I'm not fucking going back, so I have to bleep shit. Fuck that.
Great.
Let it rock.
So yeah, I mean, it's total bullshit. I mean, when I look at it, I would label myself an atheist. I don't think it's even a debate on whether or not I don't this, because you can't, if you're selling the idea, because it's always another human telling me about a God and never a God telling me for itself. It's always by proxy, either by book or by human mouth. And it's incoherent. You're telling me it knows everything, it can do everything. It's its own father, that's its own son, that's a virgin birth, that's
which can't happen.
Jesus. You're offending my common fucking sense. I've been on this planet long enough. You're not going to gaslight me with that bullshit anymore. And so I've become very much anti-theistic because I see it more than anything in the modern age as a manipulation tool. Very much in the political realm. It's pandering to what people want to hear. There may be some benefits to religion in some aspects, but I think the downfalls far outweigh it in modern society. So, with everything I see from science denial to just blatant bigotry and a free reign to be a fucking narcissist in the name of your God, I'm fed up with it. So that's why you can see my face now. The reason why my account on Twitter has been the way it has been is because stuff like Solomon Rushdie. I mean, there are crazy fuckers that believe that crazy shit that will actually hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm old enough now. I really don't give a flying fuck. Bring it.
Yeah.
Bring it.
Yeah. Bring it. So that's kind of where I'm at with it, guys. It's tough. They always like to say we're nihilists. Well, no, I played in that realm. Yeah, sure. I mean, after I disconnected, I was like, okay, so I thought I had all these answers because it was God. Let me start asking these questions again. What's the purpose of life? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I started looking around. I started asking people questions. And for me, for a long time, I boiled it down to the basics. What is the purpose of all life? It's number one, to exist, just to be. I mean,
there's no purpose to life. It's just life is what it is. So you make the best of what you got. That's what you do.
Yep. Exactly. And then so it's just to exist. And then because we're not immortal, that sex drive, that biology, that want to get the booty. Yeah. So recreate and exist. Those are the two things that I saw are the basic purpose of life that I see in all life.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but as you were talking about earlier with the whole virgin birth thing, it's a well-known fact that mammals are incapable of parthenogenesis. So they cannot asexually reproduce.
There was a reptile recently, though, wasn't there?
There's many species that can do asexual reproduction, or parthenogenesis, as it's called.
Neil, I just had a QAnon Christian that I've been out kayaking with. That is, I mean, this is a good friend of mine. It's his ex, and last time I saw him, they were trying to explain to me how they are trying to breed humans with other species. And that's what we need to be worried about. Yeah.
Who's they?
The evil people, the Satan people, I don't know. It's whoever's feeding her the crap. They are trying to do this. And it just
always they.
Yeah, it was an innocuous they. And I'm like, number one, that can't happen. It just won't happen. So it's not physically, biologically, or in any way scientifically possible. So that's nonsense.
They tried in the past, especially with chimpanzees. They tried to make humans with chimpanzees to try and create some kind of super soldier or something. And there's even they even had this one ape, I guess, that kind of looked a little humanish, but it wasn't an actual crossbreed. But they took it around all over Europe, claiming that it was.
Charlton Heston?
No. No. This was like way back, like World War II era or something.
If I could remember the damn monkey's name from Planet of the Apes, I would have said it, but I can't think of what the hell his name was.
Cornelius?
Damn it! Cornelius.
Cornelius and Caesar. Caesar was the
I knew it was a C. I was like fucking chimpanzee. No, that's not it.
So I mean,
you never said which religion you left.
It was Protestant evangelical. My mom's still a believer, and so Yeah, oh yeah, we've had conversations, and we don't really touch on it much. She'll be the one that brings it up,
Mhm.
and she does it very carefully anymore, because the last real serious talk we had ended up in her crying.
Uh-oh.
And I don't want to make my mom cry. That's not what I'm
Yeah,
trying to do.
no.
Right. So, it was basically me telling her, look, it's fairy tales. I'm not going to believe in unicorns. I'm not going to believe in leprechauns. It's magical thinking. It's ridiculous. I see it as brainwashing. It is mind control. And her response, as she was crying, is that this world has been so horrible.
Right.
She can't believe that this is the only one. And so I'm not going to try and
Not the only world. We've got lots of worlds out there.
Well, I mean, I understand, the mentality of that. She's got some conditions that she struggles with. So,
Mine
if
too.
yeah, if that coping mechanism is going to give her some solace, sure. But if she's going to try and sell it to the grandkids, which are my nieces and nephews, they are going to hear that I think it's total bullshit. Okay. So just be aware that we're going to be on that same grounds. I've had the discussions with my nieces and nephew who are now having babies. And I remember picking up one from her school because her mom couldn't get to her. Right. And, she said, I know you don't believe in God, but, I'm not sure what I believe, and I don't want you to try and control what I believe. And I said, sweetie, I'm not going to try and control what you think. I can't, I don't want to.
Right.
But what I want you to do is think. Right.
Mhm.
And so, I'm going to tell you my side of it. And if some of that is emotionally hard to hear, you might want to think about why it's emotionally hard to hear. Because
Mhm.
I'm not attacking you. I'm attacking the ideas that other people are selling. And so she's shaking her head and going, yeah, no, I see it. And so I just try and make sure that I'm pushing that message out in my small circles where I can. But again, it can be dangerous out there.
So when you say when you have these conversations with your mom, and she's the one that usually brings that up?
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, the religious people. I don't know how many you've still got in your life, but
A few, yeah.
yeah. I mean, normally they're the ones that'll praise be, and they'll bring it. It's like I said, I look at it as a language virus. A lot of them are just reinforcing what they've been told.
Yeah.
When I get into conversations and they question it, well, you can't take my faith from me. What I hear is, well, you can't take this feeling that I've got inside that I know is correct. Okay.
Well, it's correct. All right. That knowledge is demonstrable. So
Correct. And so, it's picking your battles. And that's why, we found each other on Twitter, because it's a way to put some of my thoughts out there. And, and I find that I trigger emotions in a lot of theists. I'm not
Mhm.
attacking them, but, with my background in psychology, I learned, when Trump got into office, that's when I got on Twitter. And
Oh no.
oh yeah. Well, I wanted to know that if nukes were coming, how much time do I have so I can get laid before we all die? Right.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to know. So,
Yeah.
I got on there and I had a totally different moniker, a different handle than the badass kicking new atheist. And, I started engaging and talking on Twitter, and then I'd get people say, "Whoa, you're an atheist. Oh, you're a new atheist. Oh, you're a bad atheist." And yeah, they're just throwing all these labels at me. And so, it's easy now. But when you get attacked personally, which is what most theists like to do in a response when you're attacking the ideas that they hold dear, In the early stage, it took it a little personal, got upset, but turned around and said, all right, how are we going to handle this? And asked a bunch of my followers, and they kind of helped me create the handle that I use now. And it's been that way for a long time. So it's the theists love to attack. It's passive aggressive bullshit until they get into power, and then it's full on aggressive bullshit.
But until then, they're victims.
Oh yeah, no, they love to play that. They love to play that.
They're coming after our rights to subjugate people that look different than us, and someone has to help us.
Well, I mean, God, an immortal creature, died. That's what I mean. It's incoherent. God's immortal. It can't die, but it came down here and died.
Yes.
What the fuck are you talking about?
For a little bit.
Yeah. His weekend. He gave up. He didn't even give up his weekend. Where the fuck was he during those 3 days?
Partying it up in New Orleans. That's what I heard.
He was in limbo, doing the limbo. He's having two nasty cake stands.
Yeah, when I look at it now, I've just got to laugh about it, make jokes about it. And that's, I think that's where I've gotten some of the different attention that I have on Twitter, is because I make fun of it. It's ridiculous.
It sure is.
And by definition, ridiculous needs ridiculed.
Agreed. Also, the thing is I don't like calling it a fairy tale. I prefer the term mythology, because that's what it is.
Sure.
Most religions end up becoming mythologies anyways, right? All the ones that have come and gone, right? So
agreed.
It's not even original mythology either. So
no, most of it, no, it's all bits and pieces. I mean, that's when you start looking at the real history, of humans and what that evolution of religion is. I mean, I've got a book in here that lists, I want to say that one at the time was over 2,000 gods, and so everything from Native American to Italian to Polish to, in different times throughout history. Right.
Yeah.
And so when you start looking at all the different imagined beings that are anthropomorphic, and you start looking at evolution to understand that we're a worm with appendages and a backbone, it makes sense that we're on this little ego trip and we're afraid to die. So we make up these stories to feel good about our mortality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I just got to laugh at the silly people that want to tell me that slavery's not that bad because it's in the Bible. What the fuck?
Oh, but that's indentured servitude. Like that matters.
Right. So you want to be
never okay to own another human being as property, like ever.
Yeah. And so, as time has gone on, and I will credit Twitter and my engagement of people like yourself and others, that it has solidified my stance on not tolerating nonsense and not listening to the bullshit, and working better in personal on street epistemology, really making people question themselves and why they think the way they do. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So on Twitter, that's a different monster. I'm not going to deprogram somebody over Twitter. So it's not my monkey, not my circus. I'm not that worried about it. Right. So, I get people that'll tell me, oh, you're not a very good atheist because you're not going to convert people with that kind of attitude. My mom believes.
We're not out to convert fucking people anyways. It's like
I'm just calling out bullshit.
Yeah, expose the bullshit. That's what we're up to.
I'm calling out bullshit, and you're getting butthurt because I'm doing it. Get over it. Yeah. And so one of the things I studied when I got on and I was trying to communicate with people close to me that were pro-Trump, how the fuck do I do that, Neil? I mean, their head seems so far up their anus that there's no way they could hear the message that I was trying to get to them. And so I started going back.
They don't want to hear it.
No, they don't. And so I started going back to my psychology roots and I started researching. And that's where I dug into minimal group paradigm, which is how we create us versus them. As humans, you know, we push that envelope. We're tribal. And so I started digging into that research to understand it a little better. And that led me into social identity theory. And that's how we see ourselves and how we see ourselves within society. And the way I like to express it is, so if you're in a metal band and I start talking crap about, you know, metal bands and people that play in them and what type of people they are, you're going to take that personally because you relate to that. All right. You identify with it in a lot of ways. And I'm not saying you specifically, but I'm giving the example.
Yeah, no, he's talking about you, Neil. It's time we address this. Go on.
Metal fucking sucks, right?
Oh, finally, someone's calling you on your bullshit. Finally. Take this man down a peg.
But that's, you know, so when we attack the ideas, that's why theists take it so personally, because they self-identify with Jesus. That's their best imaginary friend. He's inside of me. He's inside of you. He's everywhere.
I don't want him inside me. Get out.
It's a bad gag reflex there, Mikey.
Why is he there?
He's supposedly saving you.
I'm going to exercise his ass out of there.
Did you say exercise?
Exercise, yeah. Be gone, foul Jesus.
I think you need to know Latin words, don't you?
Yeah, expecto patronum.
I know my band's name is Latin, so liminis. There you go.
That'll work probably.
Get out.
Contu liminis.
I'm not a hippie.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, my mom still believes, and you know, I've got other family members that I'm sure do, but I know I've also affected some of the younger kids. My son, he doesn't believe. He sees it for the ridiculous nonsense that it is, and so I'm glad to be far away from it, and that's I because of, you know, my understanding of psychology and a lot of things that I've gone through. I've been able to talk to people that have escaped, and they use that terminology, whether Jehovah's Witness, ex-Mormon, whatever it may be. They've got a lot of trauma that they need to process at times, and so I've tried to be there to be a voice and listen to them, and you know,
that's good.
Others do it better. I think that's a big part of what you're doing, Neil, allowing people to come on and you know, just spit out their story. It's cathartic for some, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is. I've been told that many times.
Yeah,
I've gotten emails from folks saying that they really appreciate what I do, because actually the people that I haven't even had on the show at least yet, anyways, have come on and say, "Wow, your channel helped me a lot," and the stuff that I've seen on there, I now know that I'm not the only one having these doubts or questions and stuff like that, and I've learned that I can seriously look into this stuff and come up with my own conclusions. I don't have to listen to the pastor or preacher or whatever the case may be, and I can find the truth myself. I said, yeah, well, just don't rely on faith, because faith ain't a reliable pathway to truth. So you just got to get there yourself. That's right.
Well, you bring up that word truth, and like I said, from my degrees with communication and psychology, that's kind of where I like to focus. Is looking at the words that are used when people speak and how they speak, and you know, words like holy, blasphemy, sacred, those demand an authoritarian viewpoint, right? And so the manipulation is built into the language, and
sin.
Yeah. I mean, those words are exclusive to religion. They have their own meaning, and it's all religious. Sin makes me something naughty.
Yeah.
Well, I can be naughty, but I don't need to feel bad about it. I'm not hurting anybody, right? So
Depends on what kind of naughty you're being, I guess.
She asked me to do this.
Yeah, I mean, I consented when she made the request, right? No,
We're willing.
All right, you guys. Yeah.
I mean,
air this over on Pornhub in a bit.
It's manipulation. That's what I see it as.
Agreed.
It is to me.
It's total manipulation.
Yeah, it's mind control, behavioral control, thought control, and
emotional control.
Amen.
The bite model.
Hallelujah.
And then it's not so much just like you have this internal struggle from all these weirdo decisions they're making you make. Heaven forbid you say, I'd like to get off the ride now. It's getting a little bit too much for me. Cool. No one you know will ever associate with you again, and now you're an outcast. So do you want to shut up, or is the ride good? Do you like the ride, or you still want to get off? It's like, I guess I'll just stay on it. It's going too fast.
The sociology aspect of religion, it ingrains itself within culture, and it makes me sick. It makes me sick how much it just has dug its claws within the vast.
It's not surprising, though.
No, it's had all this time throughout history to do it,
right?
And it morphs along with the people, because 200 years ago it was different people, but it was the same bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So true. It's like I said, I use the analogy a lot that it's a language virus. It's spread by mouth from one human to another, and the symptoms of infection are it dulls critical thinking. It forces you to use logical fallacies to defend something that's based in emotion, and it distorts morality. That's why they'll say, "Oh, slavery's okay," or whatever silly nonsense, the church protecting pedophiles. That's how can someone look at that and not see?
I don't know.
And
I
so
ask
that's
myself that all the time.
Yeah. And so
how could you not know that this is bullshit? This is just pure mythology. How could you not know that?
And when I bring that up, what most people do is they'll deflect. Well, what about this? Or what about that? It's always misdirection.
Whataboutisms.
Yeah. Misdirection, red herrings. So I get frustrated with it anymore. And I've started blocking a lot of the religious stuff on Twitter. I know they keep finding me. It's everywhere. But yeah.
Well, I do have your Twitter account linked below.
Oh no, they'll find him.
Oh yeah, they'll find me. Fuck them. I'll tell them. It's just, if I realize that you're a manipulator, I'm done.
Yeah.
So it's been a wild ride, and the way I look at it, and I would challenge a lot of other people to look at it. I think I'm towards the end of my journey, and I started out, atheist. I had no idea what a God was in my little cranium. And then they started telling me what the Jesus dude was. And so I believed in that. I went under that mind control, and I was a theist for a while.
We then kind of were there at some point.
And then I pushed over into the agnostic realm. Okay. No, can't know. Nobody can know. Well, yeah,
See,
that doesn't.
I beg to differ.
Yeah. Well, I do too, Neil. I do too. But that's where my instincts push me to mentally, right? Is what I would say, is that I was starting to peel off that banana of religion, and agnostic was an easy way to say, well, no, you can't know, because I knew they couldn't, but it didn't answer the belief question. Right. And so had to dig into that. And when I started looking at, like I said, people I love will be in hell if they don't believe, and I'll be in heaven. Doesn't fly.
Not my idea of a good time.
No. So I'm done. And then from there on, it's just increasing in atheism. And then I realized the definition of atheist that I didn't come up with. that it's an incoherent concept. That's all God is. It's imagination. It's fiction. It's not a debate to me. You can't coherently define it, so we can't verify it, and you can't demonstrate it. Okay, it's word salad, jibber jabber,
Gobbledygook.
It's like speaking in tongues.
right? So, and I forgot to mention, you aren't the only one with a staff, Neil, from the last time.
I have two.
You might want to see the doctor about that.
Yeah. Well, they're not stuck up anywhere.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, getting some laughs about it is the best thing I know to do. So I'll throw this joke at you if you guys haven't heard it before. You know why all the nuns are saving themselves for Jesus?
Why?
They heard he was hung like this.
Oh, jeez.
I have heard that, but it's been a long time since I've heard that. So I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, this sounds familiar, but
Right. No, I mean, and so yeah, I do bartending on the side on my from the regular work, and so
I was a bouncer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've played cooler and bouncer. I've done it all.
I was a DJ. We can get a whole bar going.
Oh, rock on.
We're good to go.
We just need the liquor.
The Atheist Inner Circle, we'll call it.
How cool would that be to start up a whole chain of atheist bars?
We'll
That'd
be
be
rich
sweet.
by We'll be rich by sundown.
Oh no.
Our numbers are climbing, so more new members every month.
I'm curious how we theme the place.
Like Iron
Theme
Maiden
it?
themed.
Like hell, or just do the whole thing in hell, a hell landscape.
As soon as
Well,
you
I
walk through
guess
the doors, there's just like a mist and then like a red light. So it feels like flames. And you do 666, the number of the beast. And then you just come on through the doors and then everyone's really cool. And it's just a normal bar. But it should be dramatic when you enter.
Right.
We have little atheism symbols, like we have like Russell, whatever's the teapot guy up on the wall there, and we'll have pictures of like all the big Christopher Hitchens up there, Daniel Dennett, something like that, right?
Instead of dogs playing poker, it's just like Hitchens, Neil deGrasse Tyson,
The
Sagan.
Four Horsemen playing poker.
Right. That's great.
That's like a lounge. Look how old we are.
Air says all the Canadian branches need to be Voivod.
What's Voivod?
It's a Canadian metal band. They do a probably the best rendition of Astronomy Domain, which is a Pink Floyd tune that they do.
Nice.
It's fucking amazing.
Nice.
Oh, have I never heard of this? Someone's in trouble.
Voivod's great, dude. Check them out.
Right,
Much
really
better
good
than
time.
the other big metal band we had there for a while called Anvil. Metal Queen.
I thought
No, that was
Supposed
the
to
Aaron.
see Megadeth soon.
Megadeth, yeah, I heard they're coming out that way.
I
Yeah.
thought Nickelback was the big Canada band.
No. I'll take Tragically Hip or Rush or
Have you ever sung Photograph?
the
man?
Headstones. Have I ever sung Photograph?
Yeah.
No. The only Nickelback tune I ever did was Leader of Men. Way back in the day. I still like that song. I'm not a Nickelback hater, but they're not
I'm
my
not
favorite
either.
band. I think
The
I'm
jokes
favorite
are funny,
too.
but I don't hate them.
Yeah, I don't actually hate them, but it is fun to make fun of them because they're so big. My jokes do nothing to their legacy that they have of like
Your jokes just kind of come in and go
millions of
boink,
records.
bounce off of them, right?
I mean, they've got ZZ Top in one of their music videos and songs.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, how are you going to hurt them, right?
I can't touch those guys.
Right.
They're real rock stars. I just pretend to be one on the internet.
You talk about music, and I remember being about 17 or 18, and there was an AC/DC song.
Those were the days.
Oh, that was making me really question the whole. It was the first premise bullshit. Who made who? Okay.
Yeah.
So if God made me, then who made God? That's what I heard when I was hearing that song in my head, and so to me that whole
He's just always been. Whatever the fuck that means, that's not possible. So stop.
Well, again, it's the universe has always been here, you moron. Quit putting your imaginary friend in the middle of that fucking bullshit.
We don't even know if the universe has always been here. But it just keeps kind of fluctuating or whatever.
Right. But if you're going to say something's always existed, I'll go with the universe. Sure. I'll buy that one. Right. That's possible. It's feasible. It may even be likely. But
buy that for $1.
You're silly sky daddy? No thanks.
Nope.
But he loves me.
No.
Burn forever.
That's the thing when I got out and I really started looking at what Christianity sells, it's extortion to a fictional fucking narcissist. I'm so horrible that God had to kill himself to save me from himself.
Yeah.
That's what you're fucking selling me, really?
Control yourself,
cult,
guy.
Dude. It's a fucking blood cult.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Catholics drink his fucking blood all the time, right?
To be fair, it does taste nice.
What
wine? Have you had wine? It's great. It's good stuff.
I've had wine.
They're not
a fan.
They're not wrong. They're not wrong about wine being delicious. They are wrong about what it actually is.
I mean, if I were Jesus, I'd be making it like whiskey. I mean, let's blow this motherfucker up.
Right.
Some red dye in the whiskey, and there you go.
Be lit on Communion Sunday.
Well, I mean, most Catholics I know, guess what?
Praise Jesus.
They got there at 8.
Time for bed.
They got there at 8. They're going to be out of there by 10. They're going to be tailgating by 11:30. And they'll be back to the debauchery by noon. Yeah.
Yep. Notre Dame football, baby. Let's
right. College football is back.
Shit. What the fuck else was I going to say? I don't know if you're familiar with a YouTuber TikToker named Cal Mekris. She does some really funny videos. She's going to out Chad Kroger at a Nickelback concert coming up. Apparently, she's even had him been in one of his TikToks right behind him, going, "I'm going to out Chad you" and stuff like that. Right, so it's pretty funny shit, actually.
Who's Chad?
Chad Kroger, singer of Nickelback.
Oh,
out Chad the Chad.
I thought his name was just Nickelback singer. In brackets, like I just. No. Someone would fill it in later.
It's kind of like you saying I thought your name was just Luminous singer.
Yeah.
It's not my name. That's my name, but without the 604 atheist stuff.
I mean, at least you have your name right there next to your avatar, which is helpful for people. I don't see Chad Kroger doing that ever.
Oh, usually on the albums, I guess. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I was going to say
Hello, my name is.
He's been on a few different places now. Yeah, telling who he is. Yeah,
Nickelback.
There you go. That's
do you know where they got the name from?
I remember hearing the story.
Defense
a long time ago. Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
6'4" monster.
What's that?
I played defense, and we ran a 6'4" monster.
Is it actually football?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I loved it. I loved playing it. I don't watch it, but I loved playing it. Yeah, we had a 6'4" monster, and I was the monster. I got to be wherever I thought the ball was going to be.
Good
nice.
Times.
So they have quarterbacks and nickelbacks. Is that what it is? Do they have dimebacks or pennybacks or anything like that?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Nickelback.
Have dime bags.
Nickelback is 5 deep, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yep.
Was there anything that you kind of missed out on as like growing up because like your parents were religious and they were just like, oh, you won't be doing that, young man?
I mean, I think I had a lot more. There were a lot of other issues that challenged me rather than just the religion.
Quadruple coin.
Wow, you're popular.
I don't think that's all. I don't think that's Ollie. Oh. Ollie with another one of his coins haikus.
Oh, here we go.
Pot is fucking great. Love to smoke it all the time. Smoke got in my eye. There's this haiku for this one. Triple point
Ollie,
stoner haiku. There you go.
Ollie, you got to write them when you're not stoned, because you're loving these right now. But you can't use pot in every single one of them.
Sure you can.
Well, I was gonna say I don't know why not, but
Pot. Okay, that's the first sentence. It's like
Pot,
no,
pot,
I don't.
Potty
Yeah.
pot.
Pot in my eye. There we go. Done.
I wouldn't say I missed out on a lot. I think for me, it was, I asked people, do you know who my dad was? And everybody's like, no. And I was like, shit, I was hoping maybe you did, because I don't either. Right? No clue. Never met the guy. So I had a retired Army sergeant as a stepdad until I was about 13. And then he was out of the picture. So I think that absentee father that I had and that is God in and of itself. I think I was about 13 when I was out in the backyard and looking up at the sky, flipping the bird, going, I don't deserve this. I'm a kid. You're supposed to love me. Get the fuck down here, take care of some of this shit, or you can fuck off. The whole idea can fuck off. And that was, I think, there was that moment in time when I was 13 years old that things were really shitty in the world for me. And so.
Where are you, you son of a bitch?
Right. You're supposed to love me. Get here. Whether
Show
it was
up.
my real dad or the invisible sky daddy, right? Either one, I didn't give a shit. Neither one of them showed up. So I started wrestling. I started playing football, and I started looking out for my fucking self. Been doing it since. So, and I've gotten to the position where, when people come at me with the manipulation, hey, buddy, what's up? May have to let the dog out here in a second. He's awesome. He's barking. He was a therapy dog I took to the nursing homes before the pandemic.
Oh, nice.
Oh, dude, I learned a ton doing that.
No doubt. I
can tell you that it's either the mind or the body, and sometimes it's both.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't.
Mom's in the home, so I see.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah. Oh no, she wanted to be there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't like being alone, so she's put me where there's lots of people. I'm like, okay, sure. So
okay.
And there are different wanted to be in,
and there are different ones, and there's different sections. So it was great because I learned it wasn't just for the people that were there. There was one specific time we walked in, and so this one little hallway was never knew who was going to be in there. It was kind of a transitionary place.
Right.
Some of the people that were in a rough condition would be in there, and we went back in there, and the room was empty except for one of the girls that was working there, and she was just bawling her eyes out. And he recognized it, so he went right up to her and started snuggling and brightened her old day up. So it's a tough job for those people, and he was awesome at it. So he's good. He laid down. He said, "I'm good, Dad."
That's awesome. Yeah, every I take my mom out every Sunday for brunch and whatnot. And I usually call her during the week too. But every time we sit down, she goes, so and so died this week. I'm like, seems like a new one every week.
Well, dude, the older I get, the more people I know that have passed.
Yeah, me too.
Yep,
me too. I've lost quite a few friends. A couple just recently. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I had one of the kids I coached back in the day that I lost, and that was a tough one because he was a good kid. I mean, just all around, just a good listener, good attitude, and it was tough. Bad accident, freak accident. So,
oh shit!
That's
how I lost my sister.
Always sad.
Yeah.
I lost my sister Trina to one of them fucking accidents like that, like a motorcycle accident. So.
Mm-hmm.
This was tree work. Limb fell on him.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So, I mean, life's dangerous, man. I'm looking to. I'm going to have an axe throwing party this weekend. Too bad.
I saw that on Twitter. You're talking about that.
Yeah.
What?
I'll be staying out of your neighborhood that weekend.
Yeah, so I had
whoa! What the hell was that?
Well, I live out in the
damn
country.
it, PA, keep it in your own fucking yard. God damn it.
I live out in the country, and I had a tree that was real big that came down. So whittled it up and got about 3 foot wide sections of tree and stacked them up. Played Tetris with it, and been throwing axes at it for a couple of years. And I got a group of friends and family that'll come out this weekend. So
Nice.
Looks like the weather will be good. I've got about 20 different axes, couple of other things, some knives. I think I'm gonna fix the handle.
Batarangs.
Huh?
I got some batarangs.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, they're great for that.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, right here. Little pouch.
Oh, nice.
Neil's got he's got his utility belt.
Little batarangs.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'd love to throw it.
They work pretty good.
I've got playing cards and a few of those things. Got a couple of knives. I've got even just spikes. They're just metal rods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got to be careful because I throw them for where they rotate, and if you hit it wrong, those things bounce.
And they can hurt.
Oh yes.
And I got one of these fucking things stuck in my shoe, an old shoe that I had before. Because it bounced off the tree. I was kind of half cut at the time and whipped it at the tree, and it just bounced right off and stuck in my shoe. I'm like, oh, thankfully my toe isn't in there, I think. So.
I did block a knife with my hand once when it came back.
Ooh. Stick in?
No. I mean, it nicked me a little bit, but it wasn't coming back too fast. I mean, you got to understand the physics. It's coming back, but it's hard as you're
lost its momentum. Yeah.
Right. So, I did cut my finger this weekend. I had to use some super glue, and
oh, that burns.
So I learned to juggle when I taught myself to juggle at about 12, 13. Like I said, I was reading the books. Well, one of the things we had at the house out in the middle of the country was those white Britannica encyclopedias. And so I opened up the J book, and in the back it was juggle. So I taught myself how to juggle at 12, and I can juggle fire now. So I've had people ask me if I can juggle the axes, and I'm much better with cylinders and stuff like that, like pool balls, than I am with pins. But I was messing around with the axe trying to see if I can get the rotations right, and cut my finger.
Ouch.
No, thank you.
I had a lot of practice with those old school lawn darts, so I'm pretty good chucking things.
Do you?
Damn lawn darts.
We still have. They're still somewhere. I think I have them packed up in storage or something.
I've got a set. They came with the house I bought.
Nice.
Yeah. That and a pair of those old metal skates that you strapped onto shoes with leather.
Yeah. They're usually seized up within the first week.
That and the other cool thing that was with the house that was old was the LP player that had the cassette tape and the 8-track all together. It was the turntable. It's the turntable, the 8-track, and the cassette
lift
player.
Up top.
Yep.
Lift up top. Yeah. I remember those suckers. Those are hard to find too now.
Yeah, the radio still works. I haven't messed with the rest of it.
Yeah, I'm my guitar player and my drummer collect LPs and cassettes because apparently cassettes are a thing again. I'm like, well, why? Oh yeah, it's one thing I miss is all that fucking tape hiss.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, but we're living in better times than back then, man. That it is hard to listen to some stuff. There's so much gurgle and hiss and pop going on the entire song.
I always think of that movie,
music.
The Last Boy Scout, where he's like, rewind eats the tape. Rewind eats the tape.
I watched a TikTok video actually of a lady who was talking to her 13-year-old son, and she goes, "I'm going to give you some stuff from the '90s and see if you know what it is." And he got Blockbuster. He knew that one. He knew that it was a place that people rented movies and stuff. He goes, she goes, "What about Be Kind, Rewind?" And he's like, he had no idea what the phrase meant at all. He's like, oh, what? Be nice to people and like chill or something. Like,
Wind down.
No, that's not what that means. Yeah, some funny expressions from back in the day.
Well, think about giving some of these young kids a rotary phone.
Oh, I know. They wouldn't know.
They'd probably figure it out, but it'd take them a minute.
Oh, they probably stick their fingers in the holes. What do you just press the hole? Or yeah, press a hole. That's a good idea.
just you're probably on hold. Just keep doing it. No, it's warming up. I can see it now.
I still remember the old dial-up sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah, the days of like fucking 300 baud.
I love
that shit.
Trying to download something and coming back 3 days later to see it's still working on it.
Yeah. Oh, I could see nipple.
At least I think. I don't know. This might be upside down. This might be upside down. I'm not sure.
Upside down. Uh-oh.
Well, and I think, like I said, my experience on Twitter has solidified my position. You know, I am an atheist, but I think a more accurate label is atheist. But, you know, within the Venn diagrams, they fit together because I know I don't believe in a God. And the reason why I don't is because I believe psychologically that it's just a manifestation of human emotion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's it.
Need for comfort.
Yep. I mean, whether it's
you
your
don't
fear
need
of
religion
death,
for any of it. Yeah. Fear of death. Yeah.
Whether it's your desire to be, I want to be loved unconditionally by a supreme being
or someone.
It's comfort food for the mind, right?
Yeah.
So
until you realize it's fucking horseshit, then it's not so comforting anymore.
Well, and yeah, when you look at the news, like I said, seeing people get stabbed, seeing abortion laws changed, dude, that's you can't tell me that wasn't religious in nature.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
it was.
I think there may be other motives behind it, but it was religion that was used to make it happen.
It was religion that caused that type of belief to make it happen.
Well, but it doesn't say anywhere in the Bible that religion that abortion's bad. In fact, I mean,
gave them a potion for a lady to kill her baby.
Yeah,
to drink dirty water or whatever.
The God of the Bible's all good with drowning babies and smashing them on rocks. So I mean, it's warped, like I said, in the modern era to become more manipulation and just behavioral control than anything else. We want you to believe this. We want you to do this. We want you to vote this way. Because
bitter waters.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Pence is the reason why Trump got elected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those two put together. So that's why I've got to speak out and speak up. And that's why I'm on here with you, Neil.
I appreciate that, sir. And we've actually come up on the hour. Like it goes by that quickly. However, if you feel like hanging out for a little bit longer, we do an after party. We'll take a bit of a break in between them. And
sure.
I'll give you a fresh link. Actually, Mikey will pop it into the private chat, and you can just go in there as soon as you want. And cool. we'll hang out and have some other folks come in and meet you and chat with you and stuff like that.
Sounds great.
Because that's what it's all about, hearing these stories and building the community. And that's why I do the after parties. So.
I've watched a few. They look like a good time.
Oh, yeah. They're a lot of fun. Most of the time.
It's awful.
They're horrible. Nobody watches anymore. No. I'm kidding. If you guys out there in the chat would like to be a part of this and hang out with with BA and Mikey and myself, just let us know through one of the usual methods of messaging, stuff like that, and we'll give you a link. But other than that, I hope you guys out there in the chat, thank you for being here, and hope you guys liked today's show. If you didn't, there's no refund, so I don't know it's free anyway. So how do you refund?
I was about to say your check, your refund check is in the mail. If you did not enjoy today's story,
send me an invoice.
Yeah.
Kissmyass.com.
We call it a bill of laming. And thanks to my amazing patrons. Really, without you guys, the show wouldn't be what it is. So thank you for all you do for the show. I very much appreciate it. And and we're going to get into that after party probably within the next 15, 20 minutes or so. So
Word.
there is a link below to it. And also go and follow BA on Twitter. I got a link for that down below as well. And you can click the link for the after party and just wait for us if you don't want to be involved in it. All right. And until then, guys, like I always say at the end of the interviews, like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.